done for our operation is to tailor the loan to what our needs are. We have changed and will continue to change our operation, our needs. As we've grown, our capital requirements have went up dramatically. And Farm Credit is access to capital at a reasonable rate, and then has allowed myself and others then to expand and grow. And the tools that Farm Credit brings to us allows us that flexibility to maximize our return.
Apply for livestock financing at farmcreditil.com/livestock.
You're finding Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is Ed Shimon at the National Weather Service in Lincoln. Ed, good to see you, my friend. I know you're coming off a tough weekend. What a way for the Packers to lose on Sunday. And, for folks at home, Ed, you've never been so fired up after a Packers game like I saw you this morning. I always kind of thought, you're just a casual fan that follows, and you get into it, but you're not throwing things or anything. But I tell you what, I was fearful for your equipment there in the weather service office this morning. You were fired up, my friend.
This was as bad as the NFC Championship loss to Seattle on the road when we had like a 15-point lead with 4 minutes. I mean, this was that bad in our minds. Like, you guys are a really good team. You have so much potential to, this team could go a long way, and then you lose on the road to an 0-2 team. I know they had a good defense. Cleveland's no joke. But, yeah, it was just a really bitter pill to see that field goal go through after we just missed a debacle of a field goal ourselves. So, yeah, it was tough.
That was just the tip of the iceberg of what I got off the air, and it was fabulous. Ed, I love watching you be fired up, man. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
I'm an owner of the Packers. I have a stock I bought back in 1996 when they opened it up after the first Super Bowl.
Look at you. You got a stake in the thing.
I am an owner.
Very good. Very good. Well, Ed, it's a big week in Clinton, obviously. I know one of the reasons we wanted to bring you on this week was to get a preview of our Apple and Pork Festival weather forecast. Not to bury the lead, but before we get to the weekend, let's dive into what's the rest of the week like. We've gotten a deluge of rain the last few days. Are we in for more rain this week? What's our day-by-day weather forecast tell us here?
Sure. Yeah. Looks like we got the rain out of here for today. It's east of you and east of DeWitt County and should stay there. We had an isolated shower possible here through 1 p.m., but I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of precipitation. The rain's coming though Tuesday night. There's a low pressure. It's got a lot of moisture that it's going to bring with it. So inch to maybe, some spots localized up to 2 inches of rain that Tuesday night, Wednesday. And then things will start tapering off into Thursday. So there's that Tuesday night through Thursday period, but it could give us a nice dose of rain there. And then we're going to shut it off as we head into the Apple and Pork weekend.
Yeah. Well, what's going on right now, Ed, that we are just all of a sudden breaking this dry stretch, and not only breaking it, but boy, it's coming in waves. It sounds like. What's going on right now?
Right. Yeah. We just had a shift in that jet stream. It's allowed us to be on the portion of the low pressure tracks here where we just marching them through one at a time. And, it's been good. We've had some areas with 2 to 2.5 inches of rain in a couple of days. Even Lincoln here, we had 2.36 in 2 days over the weekend. So, soaking rains, really good stuff. Some of it came pretty quick. The ground was hard. There was a little bit of runoff. So we're trying to get the feel for those soil depth moisture sensors and see what soaked in and what ran off. But it really we're seeing that train of low pressure systems through about Thursday, and then we're going to kind of get shoved under high pressure again. So enjoy the wet water that whoever needs it, right now, because it's going to shut off again after Thursday.
Yeah, we certainly needed it. That's for sure. Talk to me a little bit, Ed. Day by day, what are we looking at? By the way, last week super hot. Are we going to dive into these fall temperatures at some point in the next week or two? Let's go day by day. Our just kind of forecast temperatures. What are we looking at for this week?
Yeah, we're going to be right around normal heading forward, although a little bit, yeah, because today 79, you know, probably some clouds in the area. Fog tonight, could be dense, low of 63. Tuesday, high near 82. We're normally right around 80. So, that's normal. Spotty showers are in the forecast there with a few thunderstorms in the afternoon, evening. But the evening is where we really bring in that wave of rain. So Tuesday night, expect some rain, a few storms. Severe weather threat looks low, but not zero. So we'll have to watch that for some hailers. But heavy rain amounts in that Tuesday night, Wednesday, like an inch, maybe inch and a half in some spots. The low overnight on Tuesday night, low at 63. So we're going to be right around normal. Wednesday, the rain showers continue. We have likely in there in the morning, but then more spotty as we head through the rest of the day. Let's see, high in the mid 70s. So Wednesday night around 60 with showers, still around Thursday, 40% chance, 72. So a little cooler on Thursday, below normal for our only below normal day of the week, but then dry. Then we see a Thursday night around 57, nice cool fall day, fall night. Friday, sunny 76, Saturday, sunny 80, Sunday, sunny 80. Boom, boom, boom. So right around normal there to close out the week with a gorgeous forecast right now.
There you go. There you go. So let's dive more specifically into the weekend. Can we be pretty confident in this outlook? And if so, Ed, let's talk conditions. Is it going to be humid? Is it going to be windy? Is it going to be sunny? What are we looking at there?
Yeah, no, we're seeing expansive high pressure coming in for Thursday, and that's going to settle in for the whole weekend. Drier air, really, the dew point should be in the 50s, comfortable, even though the high is around 80. So the high around 80 and sun, it can still feel, a little bit hot. So, you definitely want to be, hydrating a little bit there, but the dew point should be low enough that, if you're sweating, you're going to have that, cool your body sufficiently there. So, really nice. It isn't going to be humid. That's nice.
There you go. Will all this rain make it too wet? Is and not necessarily just apple and pork, but I know farmers are in the fields right now. Is it just too wet out there for them at this point? What do you think?
Yeah, the ground has plenty of capacity for the rain we're getting, and the rain we got this weekend is including Tuesday night, Wednesday, and even into Thursday. Yeah, the ground will absorb it. It will not become soggy. It really has a deficit at this point that it can handle another 1 to 2 inches and not become a sloggy mess for the farmers.
It's good to hear from them. Ed Shimon, National Weather Service in Lincoln, our guest on the Zoom today. Ed, let's dive into the rain of the last few days. What's been going on there? And you mentioned we're probably looking at another inch at least in the overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. What's been going on? What happened that we have broken this dry spell here?
Yeah, we were able to get enough moisture content in the atmosphere from that low pressure. It was out over Kansas, Nebraska for days and days. And it's coming. 1 day delayed. Finally got here. Plenty of atmospheric moisture. The precipitable water level of the atmosphere climbed up to what we call 1.8 inches of precipitable water that could reach the ground. For a several hour period. So, we definitely were able to see that. As I mentioned, Lincoln had 2.36 inches Saturday and Sunday. So, really soaking rains and pretty beneficial overall. So we're hoping it kind of staves off the intensity of that drought that has expanded rapidly across Illinois here.
Yeah. When it's all said and done, how if we get even just like the bare minimum rain we're anticipating here the next several days, Ed, how does that impact droughts and where we stand with some of those things?
It should be enough to maybe the areas with severe drought, which includes eastern DeWitt County. I think like that level D2 severe drought, we should be able to pull that back maybe to moderate drought D1. It isn't going to get rid of the drought completely. We're at a deficit enough now that I don't anticipate going all the way down to like D0 after this week. But Dr. Trent Ford is gathering as much information as we can, and through the Tuesday rains, actually, unfortunately, we're not going to include the Tuesday night rains in the update that comes out Thursday. We're only going to include everything up to Tuesday morning in terms of what is falling and hit the ground. So even though the update of the drought comes out Thursday, it's not going to actually incorporate that beneficial rain that we're expecting Tuesday night. So, but I think it'll improve somewhat, but not like a total flip flop where we're all the way down to like D0, just abnormally dry there.
Got it. Very good. Well, Ed, if you don't mind, one more time for folks maybe just joining us this morning, highlight, kind of what we're in for the rest of this week. And then obviously the Apple and Pork Festival weekend, what can we anticipate? How about that?
Sure. Yeah. Just to recap, Tuesday afternoon, a few spotty showers, but a wave of rain and storms Tuesday night, Wednesday, and then scattered showers and storms will continue Wednesday night and Thursday. Then we kind of get a really big high pressure Thursday night all the way through the weekend. Comfortable weather, highs in the upper 70s, around 80 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then plenty of sun, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well.
Can't wait. Very good, Ed. Thanks for that update. Let's take a break here. Where do folks go for all things weather forecasts, Ed, to keep up with the latest? How about that?
Yeah, it's weather.gov/Lincoln.
Ed Shimon, National Weather Service in Lincoln, my guest on the Zoom this morning. More to come with Ed on the morning show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Monday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network. We start the day in the red with corn, beans, and Chicago wheat. December corn opening, 421 down 3. March corn down 2 3/4, 438.5. And May corn, 448.5, down 2.5. November beans starting the day, 1010 down 15 3/4. January beans down 15 3/4, 1029. And March beans, 1045.5 down 15 1/4. December wheat opening 516 1/4 down 6 1/4. March wheat 535 down 5 3/4. May wheat 546 3/4 down 5 3/4. October bean meal 277.70, that's down 520. And October bean oil 49.05 down 98 cents. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
Selection for a new Chevrolet is here at Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. This is Scott Baum. Yes, from the Corvettes to the Suburbans and everything to help your family or business, Chevrolet has value options for your needs. This month, see our Silverado trucks in 1500, 2500, and 3500s in gas or diesel. Our Silverados have big savings with more discounts if you trade yours in. Chevrolet, together let's drive. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom, Ed Shimon, National Weather Service in Lincoln. Ed, as we chat here for this morning, let's dive into, when we get out of Apple and Pork, we turn the calendar into October. What does the October outlook tell us? How about that?
Sure. Yeah, looks like above normal trends for temperatures. That's not going to go away. But let's see, precipitation. We're right on the edge of below normal precipitation for October at this point. So, once we get this rain the rest of this week, it looks like dry the rest of the month beyond that. And then October overall might tip the balance toward below normal. And when we're talking about October precip, it's about 3.5 inches of rain or precipitation usually. Hopefully not snow, rainfall there. And then temperatures in October, looks like we average out around 74 at the beginning of the month for highs, and end of month at about 59 for a normal high, which is chilly for a high. Lows go from 47 at the beginning of October down to 37. So you're dealing with quite a bit more frost potential there on a regular basis as we head toward the end of the month.
So it sounds like we could maybe still see some days around 80 degrees.
Yeah, it really is. And as I'm looking at the 6 to 10 day and the 8 to 14 day outlooks, we're, definitely in the 50th to 60th percentile above normal temperatures. So that means, with normals right this month in the mid 70s, we're going to be above normal towards 80 for a good portion of the rest of the month, which would be nice.
Sure. How about not this weekend, the weekend of October 4th and 5th? Our friends down in Taylorville have the big chili fest each year. Is it too early to start maybe projecting their forecast for those 2 days?
Well, Friday there's going to be potential some rain moving in. We're seeing a cold front come across Minnesota and Nebraska, but enough moisture is coming in already Friday afternoon. Saturday more spotty, but certainly there's going to be scattered showers ahead of this frontal system that's going to just kind of linger off to our west. But Saturday, Sunday look better than Friday at this point. So I think maybe over the weekend we could keep that at bay. And usually when we see that in the signal this far out, the trends are it's too fast. So as we see that start approaching, it'll start slowing down a little, so to speak, because models tend to translate some of that weather a little too quickly. So it could pan out that we could have a really dry weekend and maybe just a little bit of showery activity Friday. So we'll keep an eye on that at this point.
Very good. So sounds like warm for October and potentially dry at the same time. Going to be ideal harvest weather, it sounds like. But in October there, Ed, I know we highlighted the almost hour plus of daylight you lose in September. What do we drop in October for daylight?
Yeah, it's about 56 minutes of loss of sunlight again, almost an hour. It was 70 minutes this month as the sun makes its fastest transit or largest transit in the sky from north towards south. But it'll be another 56 minutes of sunlight lost in October because that sun's going to set quicker and sooner after supper as we head through the month.
Might beat supper on some nights for some folks.
Yeah, it might, especially.
Yep, very good. Well, Ed, let's dive into September a little bit if we can pull up that data. I don't know if you've got it, but I know it's been, like we mentioned, abnormally dry this month. How about just what we've encountered in September from precipitation so far? How does that compare to normal temperatures? All those things. What does September tell us? I know we still got a week of the month yet still, so time to make some of this data up. But how about just where we're at?
Sure. Yeah, I know Lincoln got quite a bit of rain at the DeWitt County side. Right now Lincoln is showing right around normal for precipitation at 2.5 inches for the month, but that's not everywhere. So DeWitt County is showing about an inch less than that in a good portion of the county. So you're probably around an inch below normal in the DeWitt County. Temperature-wise, we're overall still below normal because of that really cool start all the way through the 9th of the month. We had double-digit below normal days, and then we have a heat wave, 90s. But it's still tipped the balance toward below normal for the month temperature-wise. But each day is going to be above normal as we go forward. Near or above normal the rest of the month. So we'll probably end out right around normal temperature-wise for September month there.
Yeah, sure. It's been an interesting month. It really has from the start, the cool start you mentioned, then this heat, and it wasn't oppressive heat. We've seen hotter days in September, but it was notable heat for sure.
Yeah, we actually hit the highest air temperatures we've had this summer because the air was dry. It warms up faster when it's dry and it cools at night faster when it's dry. So, even though we had a heat wave with heat index of 115 in July and August, that was because temperatures were around 94, 95, but the dew point was 80. That puts your heat index up in the hundreds. Well, we had a high of 96, but the dew point was 60. 20-degree difference in the dew point is massive in terms of the heat index. So, we set our highest temperature. I know Springfield did. On the 13th, I believe, or so. But it was, hotter temperatures, but drier air. So
well, and speaking of that, hot and dry combination, as guys got in the fields, boy, that was a recipe for some, treacherous conditions at times. Did you have reports of field fires or anything in the Lincoln Weather Service area?
There was one just north of our area, I believe. I saw in the news yesterday. I want to say Ford County, but there was one active one close by, and the conditions are still there. The corn is very dry. The fields are ready and ripe for fire activity if not all the precautions are taken there. sure that you don't create sparks, the equipment get really hot, things like that.
Sure. Well, Ed, as we wrap up, you mentioned Coco Roz. Let's highlight that service and that resource. We turn to it often in our our morning news and things of that nature, just as a good, really just good informational piece of how much rain a certain, and really down to a specific point on a map. Coco Roz, tell us about it and how folks get involved.
Sure. Yeah. Coco Roz is COCORAHS. It's Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network, cocoraz.org. And you can sign up and purchase a rain gauge and just start out. You don't have to report every day. We encourage as much information as we can get, but it's a vital precipitation network for rain, hail, snow across the country and the world. Actually, there's Coco Roz in Canada and over in England. I mean, we're expanding. It's the largest network of precipitation reporting in the country, if not the world, I would suspect, because it's just expanding and it's so helpful for the Weather Service, because the airports are not really close together. There's not a lot of them. These Coco Roz fill in the holes. You can report, hail as it's falling and report it. And as soon as the hail report comes in, it alerts our office. So we say, hey, hail's falling. And it's just really vital. So if anybody has any inkling of wanting to help with that network, please go to that website. Check it out, sign up if you can, and help us out.
Doesn't sound arduous to get signed up and get involved with that.
No, yeah, you just go there and fill out the registration. Someone will contact you. You'll get up with the latitude and longitude, and then get you set up with how to order a rain gauge from that website. Yep.
So you do all that there, not through the Weather Service website?
Nope, that would be the Coco Roz website.
All right.
And we have a regional manager here, Darren Hansing. So he handles Southeast Illinois.
Okay. Sounds good. Ed, always great information, man. Hopefully the Packers turn it around, play a little better week 4. How do folks learn more about all things weather forecasts and the latest in weather data? Where do they go?
Weather.gov/Lincoln.
All right. Don't take that loss too hard, Ed. We'll catch you another time. Ed Shimon, National Weather Service in Lincoln, our guest on the Zoom. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton.
WHOW.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of bears.